In this episode of Social Media Fails, we're analyzing the social media campaign for Inksell.com. Inksell.com sells discounted printer ink cartridges and laser toner cartridges at unbeatable prices, as they state very clearly on their website. Which I definitely like that, by the way. I love the location of that. I think it's really incredible. Really kind of pops out at you. It's kind of one of the first things you see on the site, and that's definitely great. But I got a lot to cover in this one because I saw a lot of mistakes with the social media presence for Inksell.com, and so we'll get right on into it. The first problem here we see is that when looking at their website, you don't actually see any way to actually connect with Inksell.com through a social media channel. You see tons of information about how fantastic they are and how trustworthy they are, but yet you don't see any social media presence. So, if you want to connect with them through social media, you'd have to go hunt for it like I did. So, they don't feature their blog or anything like that on their website. So again, you have to go hunt for it. So we did that, and by simply Googling Inksell.com blog, and of course we found this blog pop up. Again, why this isn't noted on their homepage or anywhere else on their site, I'm not exactly sure. If it is there, it's not very prominent because I certainly couldn't find it. So what we see here is, they have a blog and they have a lot of good stuff here. Actually, to be perfectly honest, I don't have too many complaints about the type of content here. Although I will say that I think one of their critical errors here, in addition to the frequency at which they post, which the last post it appears was over a month ago. In addition to that, though, there's a lot of content here, or rather, there's not a lot of content here that consumers are really going to want to see and be actively Google searching. That if was on their blog, their blog could actually show up for certain Google searches, such as an issue I would see in this particular industry is consumers not knowing the difference between different brands related to ink cartridges. If you're just looking for the cheapest ink cartridge or printer, or you really may not know if you're not a consumer. So I see that they really kind of missed the boat on being able to explain and create great content about individual ink cartridges, and which one might last longer, different things like that, because ink cartridges are not like a one size fits all kind of deal. So there's a lot of great content that people are going to be searching for that they could have filled their blog with, but they chose not to do that. So that's the blog issue. Moving on beyond that, I looked for a Facebook page. Of course, it wasn't on their home page, so we had to go back to Google again and search for it. So after searching for Inksell.com Facebook, we see no Facebook here. But what we do see is Inksell.com sucks Facebook. Someone's actually gone out of their way to create a Facebook note that says Inksell.com sucks. This is where you can obviously see that Inksell has been negligent in actually monitoring the social media outcry against them. From a very basic standpoint, you would want to, at least if you're, anyone of any high authority in Inksell.com, would want to comment on this post to at least let the poster know and anyone who's reading it, such as myself, know, hey, we're sorry about whatever customer service issue you had. We're sorry about the clog and the break and compatibility issue, but we'd be more than happy to resolve that for you. Critical error. We see this happen all the time where businesses are not monitoring their social media and search engine presence, and they're letting this stuff filter through the cracks where it's very visible and will ultimately ruin the perception of your business. So moving on beyond that, no Facebook. I mean, at this point, we've analyzed that there's no Facebook page. They've let this negative content on Facebook be released without them responding appropriately to it or responding at all. And their blog is very lackluster on the frequency of content, as well as, very great search engine worthy content where they're missing opportunities at. Moving on to their Twitter page, we can see here that, as usual, this is pretty much nothing more than a self-promotional Twitter account where they're just pretty much posting links back to their blog and different deals that they're having. I mean, this is actually Inksell's deals, which can get very risky because that's partly against Twitter's terms of use. But a lot of areas here that we hope that they can actually resolve to better their social media.